Today is Tuesday, August 16th. What to know about an investigation into Rudy Giuliani and what he's saying about it before he's scheduled to testify this week, and which well-known Republicans are on the ballot today. Plus, how pigskin could help millions of people see again, why some popular baby swings and rockers are now recalled, and which video streaming service will soon come free with a Walmart Plus subscription. We'll tell you those stories and more news to know. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. Well, one of former President Trump's closest confidants is now the target of a criminal investigation over the aftermath of the 2020 election. The district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia, is looking into whether Trump's former personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, made illegal attempts to interfere with election results. While acting as Trump's lawyer, Giuliani said the presidential election results were fraudulent, even though there were two statewide recounts that confirmed President Biden's victory there. And no court actually sided with Giuliani on this issue. Still, Trump's ex-lawyer urged Georgia lawmakers to appoint their own slate of electors to certify a Trump victory and more. Now Giuliani is backing up those actions, saying he was only working on the best interests of the former president, which was his job. Giuliani is expected to testify about this in Atlanta tomorrow. By the way, the same district attorney investigating Giuliani also wants to talk to another high-profile Trump ally, Senator Lindsey Graham. Prosecutors want to ask him about calls he made to Georgia's Secretary of State soon after the 2020 election. They say he was calling to see if there was anything that could be done for Trump to win Georgia after Biden was already named the official winner. Graham's office says he wasn't doing anything wrong, just doing his due diligence as a senator before he had to vote to certify the presidential election. For now, he's been ordered to appear not as a suspect, but as a witness in Georgia next week. Graham is fighting that request, though. Stay tuned. In a massive nationwide bust, the FBI rescued hundreds of people, including children, who have been trafficked in the U.S. It turned up 37 missing children and 84 kids who were apparently used for child sex trafficking and sexual exploitation. The youngest of them was only 11 years old. It also found more than 140 adults who became the victims of human trafficking. Now, in this process, authorities were able to arrest or at least identify 85 suspects. The FBI worked with nearly 200 federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies on this. The FBI director called human trafficking, quote, among the most heinous crimes, but said sadly it's far more common than people realize. Now all of the children and adults who were rescued are being taken care of. Specialists are helping them with food, clothing, transportation, and housing. As expected, the American lawmakers who decided to visit Taiwan this week are facing extra hostility from China. While the bipartisan group of representatives met with Taiwanese officials, China announced new military drills in the waters and airspace around Taiwan. The Chinese government specifically says those drills are meant to warn the U.S. and Taiwan against, quote, playing political tricks. China is mad about the American trips because it worries they're a sign the U.S. is backing away from long-standing agreements over Taiwan's status, or that the visits could embolden advocates of Taiwan's independence. Technically, the United States does recognize Taiwan as part of China, but it also acknowledges that Taiwan functions separately from the mainland. And while China has threatened to assert control over Taiwan by force, the U.S. has said it will help Taiwan defend itself from attackers if it comes down to that. Americans are closely watching primary elections today, since a few high-profile Republicans have their futures on the line. First, there's the congressional race in Wyoming. Congresswoman Liz Cheney is going for a fourth term in a state where she easily won her last three elections. But this time, she's widely expected to lose. It's because Cheney is leading the investigation into the January 6th Capitol riot and former President Trump's possible role in it. The former president is endorsing another Republican for Cheney's job, and she's leading the polls by a lot. Next up, there's Alaska, where one-time vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin is running for Congress. She does have former President Trump's support, plus the name recognition that could give her an edge. One more race in Alaska we want to mention. Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski is trying to hold on to the seat she's had for nearly 20 years. But she's also up against more than a dozen other Republicans, including one who's supported by former President Trump. Like Cheney, Murkowski supported Trump's impeachment and voted to convict him in the Senate. But for now, she's also considered the favorite. Stay tuned. Well, this week, Scotland officially became the first country in the world to offer period products for free. It's now up to local authorities and educators there to make sure supplies like tampons and pads are available in public buildings, schools, and universities, just like toilet paper. We first told you about this law when the Scottish Parliament voted on it a couple of years ago. The vote was unanimous, so now the law has gone into effect. Here in the U.S., there are a handful of states that offer free menstrual products for students at public schools. But so far, there's no program that would apply to anyone who needs them. The real debate here is whether the product should really be considered essential, like food and water. And because a lot of lawmakers say no, there hasn't been any success passing this kind of law on a national scale, at least not yet. More news is still coming up, but first, let's take a quick break for our sponsor, Indeed. Business success stories start with someone who had a great idea and found great people to help them. If you're hoping to make headlines, you need to build a great team. You need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. You can find great talent faster through time-saving tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. Yep, I always appreciate when you can save hours of time and keep everything organized because everything you need is in one place. In fact, Indeed assessments alone help take the stress out of the interview process. Your candidates get to prove themselves before the interview, so you can dive deeper into talking about what's really important. Start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/newsworthy. Offer good for a limited time. Claim your $75 credit now at Indeed.com/newsworthy. Indeed.com/newsworthy. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. A new scientific breakthrough could end up helping millions of people who are losing their sight. In a study out of Sweden, researchers worked with 20 people who were blind or on the verge of being blind. The issue was part of their eyes, called the corneas, were damaged or diseased, something that's actually pretty common. Well, researchers gave the patients a corneal implant made with a unique material, pig skin. And you know what happened? Every single one of them fully regained their vision. The patients were followed for 2 years after that, and in that time, none of them had complications. Scientists say this could be revolutionary, since for now, the only option for people with damaged corneas is getting an implant from a human donor who has passed away, and those aren't easy to come by. Studies have estimated that 12.7 million people are on waiting lists for those transplants. Researchers still need to do a much larger clinical trial before the pigskin implants can be formally approved and used on a broader scale. Heads up, more than 2 million baby swings and rockers are now recalled. The recall comes after a 10-month-old baby died and another was hurt but rescued in time. The crawling babies both got tangled in the swing's dangling straps below the seat while it was not being used. The recalled products include several versions of the 4Moms Mamaroo baby swing and the same company's Rockaroo baby rockers. The swings and rockers were sold at Bye Bye Baby and Target stores nationwide and online at 4moms.com and on Amazon. Parents can contact the company 4Moms to get a free strap fastener to keep the straps from dangling. In the meantime, they're being asked to put the swing away or in a safe spot away from infants. If you buy a Peloton bike, you may soon have to DIY the assembly. The company's CEO told Bloomberg News it's planning to redesign the bike so they can just be mailed to customers and put together more easily instead of having a crew from Peloton set them up. Another big possible change, Peloton is thinking about letting app subscribers beam its workouts to rival workout machines. It's all part of an effort to cut costs at the company. Peloton is known for its stationary workout bikes that became super popular during the pandemic. But now it seems those sales have slowed. Just last week, Peloton announced it's cutting hundreds of workers in a third round of layoffs, along with closing some showrooms and hiking prices for its machines. Meanwhile, another one of the biggest names in indoor cycling is making cuts as well. SoulCycle announced it'll close about a fourth of its studio locations in the coming days. A Walmart Plus subscription now comes with a new perk, a free video streaming service. Specifically, customers will get access to Paramount Plus, at least the plan that includes commercials. That version typically costs about $5 a month. Paramount Plus offers movies and shows like Star Trek, Paw Patrol, The Godfather, and SpongeBob SquarePants. And users can watch some live football and soccer games. But this version does not include any live CBS programming. Walmart launched Walmart Plus in 2020, likely in part to keep competing with Amazon. And it seems this new video offering is no different, since Amazon Prime has its own streaming service as well. Walmart Plus already offers subscribers perks like free shipping on online orders and discounts on gas. The new perk is available starting next month. We are now less than 2 weeks away from the start of college football season, and we're starting to get an idea of which teams will be the most exciting to watch. The Associated Press put out its annual preseason college football poll, and for the second year in a row, the Alabama Crimson Tide took the top spot. Analysts bet they'll win a national championship after coming so close last year. Remember, the last time around, the Georgia Bulldogs beat Alabama in the championship game, but this year, Georgia is not even ranked second. Ohio State is. Then Georgia comes in at number 3. This ranking process is a tradition that dates back to 1936. Every year, sports writers and broadcasters cast votes on the teams they consider the best in the country. That's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Trivia Tuesday, when we ask a different trivia question every week. But first, this podcast is sponsored by Rothy's. You all know I love my Rothy's shoes, and maybe you've heard of the Point and the Flat styles. They're the best sellers for good reason. In fact, People magazine named the Point the best flat for the first ever Style Awards of 2021. But did you know Rothy's also makes insanely comfortable sneakers, loafers, ankle boots, and more? They do. Their wide variety of styles are great for summer and fall. And I've never worn shoes that are so comfortable right out of the box, are machine washable, last me years, and are super cute and stylish all in one. Oh, and don't forget that everything Rothy's makes is better for the planet, too. They've repurposed millions of single-use plastic bottles into their signature thread that goes into every single one of their products. Step up your shoes and accessories this summer and get ready to be asked, are those Rothy's? I get it all the time. Plus, get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/newsworthy. That's ROTHYS, rothys.com/newsworthy. Okay, now back to Trivia Tuesday. Today's trivia question is, what is the longest above-water mountain range in the world? You can answer the question and play along with us over on Instagram. Find and follow us at NewsworthyPod. Look for the trivia quiz in our Instagram stories today. As for last week's trivia question, what is the best-selling album of all time in the United States? The answer is The Eagles' Their Greatest Hits album. It includes the band's top songs from 1971 to 1975, including hits like Take It Easy, Witchy Woman, and Desperado. The Record Industry Association of America says 38 million copies have been sold. Though it is worth noting, even though the Eagles have the best-selling single album, the Beatles have sold the most albums overall with 183 million sales. The Eagles have sold a combined 120 million albums. Well, thank you so much for listening today. We will be back with another news roundup to keep you in the know tomorrow. Until then, have a great day.